Hi, my name is Shelley Lewis, and this is my final Capstone project presentation. My topic is Teenager Social Media and Safety. My thesis statement was, how can school police increase their odds of keeping our children safe in school? The goal of this research paper is to confirm that monitoring social media, especially for our teenagers, needs to happen, and it is a must. And it is a community effort. We need to be proactive against any perceived threats to our children. The school system and their police force need to be involved in any of these cases as part of the community. The background. There have been so many technological advances over the past 15 years. There's just so much and so many changes that to list them would take a very long time. But today, at least 80% of teenagers have a cell phone. Almost everyone has a home internet connection and more than one device connecting to it. Whereas 15 years ago, not as many homes had an internet connection, and most of them were by dial-up versus the broadband or the Wi-Fi connections that we have today. Teenagers today are wired. That's the simplest phrase for it. They think that the internet, social media, and texting are all important to maintaining their social relationships. In addition to some of that, our teenagers are on school property, including school activities some days for 8 to 9 hours. My findings from my research are as follows. There are online threats like cyberbullying, predators who are, using fake identities to search children's websites and to connect with our children. 24% of people under the age of 18 have been a victim of cyberbullying. 65% of that same group know someone who has been a victim. Because teenagers add friends that they don't know in person to their friends list on their social networking sites, they are possibly opening themselves up to these predators. And I found that teenagers are the least likely group to use privacy settings on social networking sites. They want to share everything with everybody. They want to be popular. They have, the game of how many friends do they have, and do they have more than the next person. So, everything is online. Once a post goes public on the public domain, it's forever public. Even if you delete the original post or picture or statement, you are not necessarily deleting it from everywhere on the internet. Because if someone else shared it or reposted it, copied it, and their settings were public, it's out there. And things like facts are facts, and no one really owns them. No one really owns information about you. Maybe the social networking sites data bank in which they store all our information in. 45% of people believe only a small portion of the information on social networking sites is reliable. And this goes to the fact that what I found was that teenagers reinvent themselves on social media. They, may create, false, profiles under different names, and just to kind of be someone different than the normal everyday person they are. School police are there to ensure a safe environment at our schools, and that monitoring services software packages do exist, and they're being used by school systems across the country. And one in particular, Washington County in Maryland, is using a monitoring service for this school year, and I found information on the fact that they're doing it. I don't have any data on actually if they have prevented any possible threats or incidences of bullying and stuff like that during this school year so far. The services coordinate with school officials, including the police, because sometimes the police officers or lieutenant is one of the individuals notified with the alerts each day, because the service creates a list of alerts each day and sends it to the group of school officials in which were identified in the beginning. And the service is not an invasion of privacy. It monitors only public posts. They're not asking anyone for any of their passwords, and they can't see any posts which were made private by the settings when they originally posted it. But again, they can see the post if someone else shared it and their settings were public versus private. And really, your internet browser collects a lot of information that you may not even know about. So when people are concerned about the invasion of privacy of social media monitoring, your internet browser collects a lot of the same information. My recommendations: that it is a community endeavor and a lot of people need to be involved in keeping our kids safe. Parents, teachers, school administrators, and parents especially, because they need to know what their teenager is doing online and with whom. And if you need to check their password, check their friends list, monitor their keystrokes, whatever you need to do to make sure they're not getting themselves into trouble. And stress to teenagers that today's actions and posts on social networking sites affect their tomorrow. Again, you cannot be forgotten or deleted. And that, school systems should hire a service to monitor social media. I suggest Social Sentinel. And the reason why I chose them partly is because they are the ones which are in Washington County, Maryland, but they have a setting for geofence, which goes to the school property line and monitors all social media activity versus all public posts versus just those of the students or a list of things in which the school administrators give the service. School police are one point of contact to receive the monitoring service alerts because they are there to help enforce the code of conduct. In closing, in doing my research for this project, the gain of information has changed my perspective on the value of privacy settings and privacy expectations on the online world. Completing the project gave me the affirmation to my thought that if I don't want my child to see it, then I don't need to post it. Thank you very much.